got sugar daddies, we got OF couples, and we got numerous other couples in this new age inappropriate show on WeTV. And I want to start off by talking about Brooke and Kai. So come to find out, Brooke and Kai isn't even their real names. I guess Brooke's real name is, hang on, let me double check. Her real name is, I'm not sure what her real name is, but Kai's real name is Louise. And apparently he dated this TikTok star for a while, but she ended up passing away from cancer, and she ended up going viral after she had this like bucket list TikTok, and he helped her achieve all her bucket list items, which was really nice of him. But now they're going by Brooke and Kai, and I'm like, okay, why are you guys using two completely different names in your actual legal names? I think they're probably trying to hide the fact that they're on OF from their family. So they're hoping, okay, let's use different names on the show, and maybe our families won't find out we're on their show, and then in turn they won't find out that we're on OF. But it looks like the gig's already up because the family's already found out they're on OF. They've been trying to hide it all this time. I guess Brooke makes a full-time career off OF, and she wants Kai to eventually make a big career change and make a career out of it as well. And they're making the big bucks. It seems like they're living a nice lifestyle. But now his family found out. They called him and told him, hey, we know you're on OF, or they text him. He starts freaking out, and he told her, and she sees it as the end of the world because she didn't want this to ever happen. But I mean, come on, if you're going to be on OF, it's eventually going to happen. But what I don't understand is how you guys making so much damn money if you don't even promote yourselves on your social media pages, because if they say nobody knows that they do this in their real life, then obviously you're not promoting this on your pages where you'd get customers from people you know. So maybe they got, like separate pages, like the Brooke and Kai pages or whatever. Why do you guys think they're using different names? I think it's probably got to do with the OF. But anyways, so they ended up having Kai's family find out that they're on OF, and when his family texted him, Brooke demanded that Kai needed to call his family right then and there and talk to them, and she got so pissed off that he wouldn't do it because he was just walking around acting all flustered, and when she kept telling him to call him, he was just acting like he was deaf. He was letting it go in one ear and out the other, and she got so irritated. They were about to do a lingerie photo shoot for their OF. This girl's in lingerie and a little robe. She runs out the door in her lingerie, doesn't even bother putting clothes on, gets in her car, then she leaves. And I thought she was just going to be driving around, but I guess the producers convinced her to pull over at this park, and she's out at this park doing confessionals in her lingerie and her robe with her ass probably hanging out. I'm like, oh my goodness. And she's sitting there breaking down crying. And she said that if Kai's family is not willing to accept the fact that she's doing OF, she's ready to end it all. Which I think that's kind of scandalous. I mean, unless you told him going into this, like, hey, if we do OF, you do know that if your family doesn't accept this, I can leave you. To throw this on him all now and surprise him with it after his family found out, that's kind of messed up, and you can't control how the family reacts to the situation just because you're open-minded about it. Especially people in that generation, they're just from a different life and different times, and they're not as open when it comes to things like that. So she has to understand where they're coming from. They're trying to think about, the long-term longevity. Like, what if they ever have kids? I can't remember if they said they have kids. So what if you ever have kids and Kai still has a career, and with this coming out, that could have possibly affect his career depending on what kind of work he does. Then we see Brooke, and she decides to finally go home. She's sitting there laying in bed all stressed out because she says Kai left and she hasn't seen him since their fight. But then Kai just comes walking right in the door, and when she asks him what he's done all day, he says he hasn't done nothing. So it seems like he was just in the other room the whole time. But they sit down and they're talking, and he still hasn't talked to his family. He doesn't see the importance of it. If I was him, I would give it a few days, let the family cool down, because I wouldn't want to walk in the fire right after the family finds out about it, because they're going to be heated. They may say things they don't mean, emotions are going to be very high. So I would give them some time to calm down. But he's like, look, I think they need to understand more why we do it. And Brooke was like, well, I just think this is where the age range is really starting to come into play, because he doesn't understand these kind of family dynamics. But come on, I mean, this is new to everybody dealing with family dynamics. And just as until the last 5-10 years, people haven't known how to juggle family members doing OF because this is new to everybody. And I mean, Brooke, I wonder how her family feels about it because she said nobody knew about it. So it sounds like her family wouldn't be too cool with it either. Then we got Ty and Dr. Eric, and I think they got the biggest age gap from this season. They have a 41-year age gap. And I think them between Ty and Derek and that girl that's like 24 and the guy who's like in his 50s who owns like the restaurant and all those buildings or that little building area. Those are my two favorite couples so far from this season. So Ty, she is living the life. She is literally not married, but she's dating this guy, Dr. Eric, who's a doctor, and he is pretty much like at the top of his game. He's like one of the highest doctors you can get. And so he makes a buttload of money, and she's just living large and in charge. He's got a big ass house, but not just one house. He has two houses, and these are big houses. Like, these are probably good 5, 10, $15 million mansions that he has. And she is sitting there just living life as a housewife. I don't think she works, but she's a little frustrated because she says that he does not give her any kind of allowance. She went to go meet up and have dinner with her friends, and she admitted straight up that Dr. Eric was her sugar daddy. And her friends were like, well, like, how are things going? And she's like, well, things are going, but he still hasn't put me in the will. And I would be concerned too. I don't think they're married yet, are they? Like, no, I think they're just dating. I would not put her in the will until they're at least like engaged or married or engaged for a while to make sure she's like going to be sticking around. Or but I do understand her concerns because I mean he's 74. He seems really heavy, or not heavy. He seems really healthy for a 74-year-old man, especially with him being a doctor. So I'm sure he's going to live a healthy life. Like, he's still freaking working full time as a doctor at that age. But still, I would want some kind of protection because he's starting to get up there. And if he does pass away tomorrow, she'll be all sorts of screwed. But I definitely understand, like, I would want to wait a little bit more longer before jumping into that. And she seems to have it really easy because she doesn't have to work. She is literally helping him decorate this second house. Well, she says she has. She hasn't been doing that much, but she helped decorate this second house. They got two houses just that we know of. So she's living good. She doesn't have to work. He's making a buttload of money, and she can sit there if they get in a fight. She can go to the other house, and she has a whole freaking house to herself. And then on top of that, she revealed that at his age and with him working so much, they never get it in. She said they can go months without having sex. So she don't even really have to have sex with the man, and he's at work all the time, so she don't even really have to deal with him, and she gets all this money. Well, it's not so much. I mean, she doesn't get money. She just lives lavishly because he buys her things, but he's not actually giving her money. She admitted that she's not getting an allowance, and that seems to be a common thing in this season. It seems like all the women, they're acting like they're sugar babies, but then they admit they're not getting no money from this man because so it's not really a sugar daddy relationship if he's not breaking bread with you. But now I'm starting to understand why he may have not put her in his will yet, because he thinks that Ty is completely lazy. So he came to the house after he went to the other house, their second house, to pick out tile, and he told Ty about that, and Ty felt some type of way. She's like, how are you going to work on the house and not ask for my input? He's like, well, when I got up, you weren't even awake. And she said, yes, I was. She's trying to make up excuses. But finally, she admitted, yeah, I was still in bed. And she says, look, I'm tired. And he said that's her excuse all the time. She's always tired, but she don't do nothing. She don't work. She don't have to be up at a certain time. She gets to sleep in every single day, stay up as late as she wants. And I can see where that would be frustrating for somebody like him when you're at work from sun up to sundown and somebody else is just sitting around, laying around like a princess. I think he wants his girl to have some kind of hustle or ambition instead of just laying around. But I mean, he's still choosing to be with her either way. But when he was asked if he thought she was lazy, he said no comment. So you know he thinks that she's lazy as hell. Yeah, Dr. Eric's not going to put up with her shit for long because he straight up said, if you don't have a career focus and you got to be focused on the home, and he said she will not cook, She will not clean, and he's a doctor, so he wants to be healthy all the time. And he has to hire house cleaners to do everything. And he even has to wash dishes after her because she won't pick up her dishes when she does cook something. And he said that she won't even walk the damn dog. And walking the damn dog is just the bare minimum, especially like a dog and just ignore it and not try to help meet its needs. That's just messed up. This man's giving you this nice, great lifestyle. I feel like that's the minimum you can do. And she just thinks it's all a kiki kaka. She thinks it's all a funny little joke and laughs whenever he says things about it. But you can tell deep down he's starting to become a little resentful towards her over all this. And like I said, I think this is why he hasn't put her in the will yet, because he wants her to stop being less entitled and start working for things and earning her keep. Then she sat down with him and she told him, look, I need you to sign this will. Otherwise, I'm going to show you how I can live life without you. And he said that he's willing to sign the will. At first, he kind of seemed hesitant, but she's like, look, I helped you with your mother. And that is a lot of work to take care of someone's mother. I guess, like, there's a lot of things he couldn't do, like giving her a bath and stuff, because it's just more comfortable for a woman to do that. And then I'm sure he was working all the time, so she did a lot of it. And now she feels like she needs to be repaid. And I kind of feel like it's a little messed up to keep throwing that in his face. But he also does need to remember how much that takes, how much work it is, because I'm sure he wasn't doing all that work, you know, like the baths and stuff like that. So he doesn't realize how hard it can be. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these couples so far in this season of Age Inappropriate, and if they're watching, and what you think about the show. And I will cover the rest of the couples in my next video. But yeah, let me know what you think, and thank you guys so much for watching.